gloomy on a Sunday. Hello, how are you? Can you hear this? I don't know whether you can or not. I don't care. It's gloomy and it's Sunday and it's here. Yay! Yes, I forgot I was doing this. I was just down watching the results to Strictly Come Dancing. I thought I timed this right, 5 minutes later, but unfortunately, my dad needed to go out so we paused it for a while. So, happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. It's called Gloomy Sunday today. The reason is it's very gloomy, very wet, very miserable. Just don't feel like going out or doing anything. But hello, all the people that have joined me. Yay! I'm feeling a bit sort of like pitiful and sorry for myself lately, but not like I don't know whether you know about Gloomy Sunday. I can't remember. It's a various things. It's a Hungarian song, I think. I did some research. Have I told you about this? I did some research for somebody in America who's writing a book about Gloomy Sunday and the history of it, and how it's the Hungarian suicide song. I know that word is banned in certain other platforms. That's why I said it there. It had a reputation for being sort of notable for the last song that people were listening to before terrible things happened, and they did them to themselves. Yes, I can't remember the actual song. I did listen to it briefly, but I really didn't want that to happen to me if it's a curse song, because I did the research for the person that was writing the book. I don't know whether the book ever came out because circumstances happened, and sort of didn't really keep in touch with the person that I was doing. We won't go into that. Anyway, so the research I did, I was going to like the British Library, and I was going to the newspaper library, and sorry, there's little flies everywhere, in Hendon, when that was still in Hendon. It's not in Hendon anymore. I think it's in the Midlands or something. They built so they moved all the libraries. But the newspaper library was in Hendon, so that's a while ago now. And so I'd go there and I'd walk there. It was walkable distance. It'd take me about 2 hours to walk there, but it's walkable distance. It's walkable distance. So I'd go there and I'd look at that. So that was fun. And you could look on the microfiche. They still had microfiche. It wasn't that long in the past. It was like in the internet age, but they still had microfiche where you could put it in the newspapers because they hadn't digitized them yet. So I looked up stuff, and I looked up Gloomy Sunday and all stuff, and all to see whether there were any, because they already had, the person that did the book already had several instances of it. And the first thing I was looking for was it a banned song? Because it wasn't on the BBC radio, but it turned out the reason it wasn't, I went to the BBC archives, the reason it wasn't on the BBC radio is not because it was a reputational song that had made people go, oh no, I'm that's enough of life for me. It was that it was a Billie Holiday version, and they just didn't want to have that sort of jazzy stuff. So it was more racism than trying to prevent people doing things to themselves. But while I was doing the research and in the newspaper library, I found another instance of somebody that had that record on their record player just before something happened. So there was somebody in Vauxhall, I think it was. Or, yeah, they lived near Oval. Anyway, so then we looked at the house there, and the house was almost exactly, it was very near where Vincent van Gogh had actually stayed, and that was interesting. I think it was quite near there. So that was, or maybe it wasn't there. Yeah, no, it was in that sort, because it was in the borough of yeah, it was there. It was near there. Very near there. Anyway, that was fun. Yay! And I think I might have nearly got proposed to there. But I went, and my face, very difficult to hide looks on my face, it turns out. So fun is good. Yes. Hello, Western Canada. Hello, Arfingal. Hello, Philip. Hello, everybody. Hello. So, don't listen to Gloomy Sunday, the song, because it's gloomy, and it might make you feel a little bit wrong. This is a Sunday, it is gloomy, there's no need to listen to the song. It is wrong. It's not wrong. Anyway, so the jazzy version, the reason it wasn't on the BBC was really there was no reason. They just banned any sort of jazz in the 30s. So that was the reason. It was a elect entertainment program. They just didn't want it. They just didn't want that sort of thing polluting that English airways. So not great, but not because of goodness for the nation, really, but the opposite. Anyway, so I think you can play it on the radio now, obviously, but I haven't listened to it because I'm superstitious and I didn't really. So I did listen to it once and immediately blanked it from my memory just in case. Anyway, that is that. And I think also, I did some spooky histories. I wrote some spooky histories for Ash Price. So if you go to the Spooky Histories channel, I didn't write the Gloomy Sunday one. He'd already done that. He did a Gloomy Sunday one quite coincidentally, and then later on I wrote some spooky histories for him. He got a lot of writers though. I did probably half a dozen, six or seven of them, and that wasn't one of them. So you can go and see that. You can go and see the ones that I wrote. The ones that I did were the Hellfire Caves and the History of Puck, the Shakespearean Puck, and haunted London. I think it was mostly haunted theatres, but I might have. Did I do some stations too? There might have been another one with the haunted stations. And the Roman Ghosts of York, that's one of mine. And some others I can't remember. So that was fun. I did some of them. So, yeah. You should go and check them out. Haunted. I'm talking haunted because it's Halloween. Halloween forever. Halloween is one of my favourite holidays, apart from all the other ones, because I like holidays. Not that I do anything in between holidays, but I've always really appreciated holidays of all sorts of descriptions. It doesn't matter what it's celebrating. I love some of that. It doesn't matter who. Culturally, I'm cultural appropriation central, really. If it's there, yes, I will take part in your holiday celebrations, especially if you invite me, but I'll just sort of like appreciate it from afar. Otherwise I won't take part in your holiday celebration if you don't want me to, but if you let me, I'll come and join in. There you go. So that's nice, isn't it? Yay. No, that's all right. Oh, you're late. I didn't notice you were late. I thought you were already here. Just assumed you were here. I don't know why. I swallowed a fly. Perhaps I'll die. I squashed a fly actually, so I've just fly. So yeah, hello everybody. Yes. So it has been a week since I talked to you, and had I just come back from Edinburgh? No, I'd already been back from Edinburgh for ages, but I had been to Edinburgh, and this week I've been nowhere. As I said, I will see you next week. I probably won't go anywhere. And I was right. I went just outside the door to put the rubbish out and to collect the shopping delivery, because the shopping delivery man was all the way up the road. And I was very desperate to find them because 2 weeks ago they were late and they didn't even turn up. But it turned out, as I pointed out last week, it turned out they got lost. So I've just tried to have it delivered in the daytime so that they don't get lost. That would be better. So it's been a week. Hooray! And it's another week to Halloween, and I'm just like, I signed up to do, I used to do NaNoWriMo, but NaNoWriMo's got a reputation that it's like, don't go, because bad things happened. I can't remember what it was. I don't even know what it was, but there was some sort of scandal involving NaNoWriMo. But I saw that there was another one, and it was very similar, and I signed up for that. But then it was almost the same thing where you write 1,600 words a day for a month. So it ends up, you've got 50,000 words, 1,667 words or something. And then you end up with 50,000 after 30 days. Now, I signed up for that, and then I thought, no, because what I signed up for was actually a site where they want you to use their tools. And I thought, if I write things using these, are they going to take my stuff and turn it into AI generated training materials? So I might not do that. I might do it anyway, just on my own bat. Stuff that. Or I might not, because I haven't done that for a few years, but I used to do it regularly, and that was fun when it lasted, but I just sort of fell out of the, and what with the internet and online games, I've just mainly this week played online games, and I don't think I've got ADHD. I've never been diagnosed as having ADHD, but how I play the online games is I've got a laptop set up with an online game, and then I've got 2 different devices with a different version of the same game, so that I can make sure that I play the game 3 times. So I'm not wasting time. Or maybe I'll have the game on one device and I'm watching TikTok on the other, and I'm reading the internet. So I'm like reading, and then I'm also watching a video, and I'm playing the game, and I can sort of make my little my little game creatures, set them up and make sure that they're all kitted up, and let them go and have that automatically in the background. So I'm like, oh yes, they're training nicely. I'm training those little sprites, and then I'm looking at my phone and like da 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 da, and then I'm looking at the other device going da da da. Sometimes I've got even more than one. Sometimes I have to borrow my dad's phone, and then I've got a couple of different things going on. I can do something else as well. So maybe because it's a waste. It's like I'm wasting enough time just sitting here doing nothing. If I'm going to play a game, I have to also do other things as well. And I watch the television at the same time. So I might have, like, Peacemaker was on, but that's finished now. Is that what it's called? Anyway, that was on. And then I would watch TikTok as well, maybe with the subtitles rather than so that I can do more than one thing, and then also be reading and also be playing the game, and then maybe do something else as well, like peeling some potatoes. So I have to do that, but I don't have ADHD. I want this to be known. It's not been diagnosed, and therefore I don't have it. So that's how it works. If you don't test it, it's not there. That's the current thinking. I don't care. If you haven't got it, why would you know? How would you know if you don't have it? Then you could just say so. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so that's how it works, isn't it? Because if you never get tested for something, you never have it. Yeah, and this is just how it works. Because if you know that you've got something, then you have to do stuff in order to go, well, no, oh, wow, or whatever. So that's how it works, probably. Definitely don't have it, because there are people, it's like if you can't, it's just like cultural appropriation. It's like, I can't say I've got it, because then I would be taking that away from someone else that genuinely does have it, so that's fine. So I can't take away the thing that you have, because you got it. And people are very proprietorial about the things that they have as well. I've noticed that if I've got ill with something and I haven't mentioned it to somebody, but I'm like suffering or something, I'm really suffering from it, I'm feeling like yeah, but I'm not sure what it is, or if I am sure what it is, I'm just like just putting up with it, and then somebody else comes along and they've got that thing and they're going on and on and on about it, and I can't say, oh, I've got that thing too, because then they go, no, because that's my thing. So that's also how it works. So if I do ever have anything of any sort of condition or disease, or a new thing, a new good thing, or I've got a new experience that I've had, or I've eaten something that I want to share with the world, and somebody else comes along and they've done or is or are or have or be that thing, and I say, I'm like, I just don't feel like I could share that with them, because they would be angry at me, because it's their thing. people like their thing. People think that they're the only person in the world with that thing a lot of the time. I've noticed this. So you just have to shut the fuck up and just let them get on with it and go, oh, and be sympathetic and go, oh no, oh. But if you go, and if you share your experience with them, they tend to be angry and just don't like you anymore. So probably they're the sort of person that you don't really want to know anyway. So best not talk to them at all. Yeah. But I do. I want to be liked. I want to be adored. I want them to like me, even if they are objectionable people a lot of the time. In retrospect, you go, why did I want these people to like me? There was no reason, really. There's no reason. I like people that like to share experiences and share. We share. I like the people that go, oh yeah, and how are you? And I'm sure I don't think you should be obliged to ask other people. Like, if somebody's sharing, there should be a little bit of a two-way street. But sometimes you want to just let people have their little moment of glory or misery and just let them to it and just not interrupt. But other times, it's really annoying. That's yeah. So that's it. Yeah, sympathy. It's just you have it for a long time, and then you're just like, yeah, all right then. What about me? Sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish. Sometimes you do. Anyway, I'm feeling a bit fraught and sort of. I don't know when the radio thing that I did is coming out. But the guy that did it has got another one that came out. So that was something in the corn, I think it was called. But that's not the one that I was in. So that's already been uploaded. So I'm assuming he's sort of dripping them, and then the next one's going to be in a couple of months, so I'm not going to be impatient about that. But I'm like thinking I would like to be doing more of that. So if anybody does want me to do any voices, I say it again. I said it last week, I'll say it again. I repeat myself. Repeat and repent. Repent, rinse and repeat. Yeah, do that. So yeah. So this has been a week of everything being very rainy. It's like there's still apples, like 2 or 3 tiny apples on the tree. But I just looked at it every day and gone, shall I pick those apples? It's raining, no. Shall I pick those apples? It's raining, no. And the leaves have started to fall off the trees. And I think the apples have actually, to be honest, the little apples that were there that weren't quite ripe have probably fallen on the ground and been eaten by little woodland creatures. We're near enough the wood that they are the woodland creatures. They are rats and mice and other squirrels and birds, woodland creatures. I have not seen a fox around here ever, which is weird because we are near a wooded area. It is the countryside, technically, sort of semi-country. It's country. It's like up there, a little mountain, not a big mountain. It's technically a hill. It's like a little bit too short to be a mountain. I would call it a mountain. In Welsh, it's a mountain. In English, it's just a hill. So, but we're next to a hill with woodland on it, and yes, I've not seen any foxes ever. And I've seen eagles, and I thought I saw an eagle this morning, but it was a crow. It was wet, so it was difficult to tell. It was sort of perched like an eagle would be on the top of a branch, and I was like, what's that? I can't really see because I hadn't put my contact lenses in. I was like, what is that? And I've got an old pair of glasses that aren't really my prescription. So I was like, no, I can't see it properly. I'm trying to see it. And then it flew and I was like, no, that's not an eagle. That's just a crow. But when I lived in the city, I'd see foxes all the time. They'd just be in the garden. They'd be eating my potatoes that one time. So I didn't know they ate potatoes, but they did. And also we had, because the council had stopped taking the food waste, because they had been taking the food waste, but they were told that they had to take the food waste by 2025. So in about 2014, they went, well, if we have to take it by 2025, that means we don't have to take it now. We won't take it anymore. So they didn't take it for about 9 years. And so I would put the food waste in what had been the food, like a big black container that had holes in the bottom. So I thought, well, make a compost heap. So I keep putting the food waste in the back garden, and I keep putting it in there, and keep putting it in there, and it never got any bigger. It was like, it was that high for a decade. And it was like, is it actually composting? But actually, I think the foxes were coming and eating it all, and the squirrels and the birds, and probably rats and mice. So probably all the creatures of the urban landscape will come in and eating all the food. So I was encouraging them. But I think that was good, because before that we had squirrels that had rat tails, like they had mange or something, and all the fur was coming out of their tails, and they looked really unhealthy. And I think that they were probably starved. But when we were putting the food waste out, they would come and eat the food. Obviously, we did catch them at it. Eventually, I twigged and I realised that's what happened. But the squirrels in particular would come and eat the stuff that we put out. And that made them much healthier. So I was actually doing a favour, helping the urban environment and helping the ecosystem, because you don't really want ill wild creatures in your garden, really, do you? You want them healthy if they're going to be there. So things can be bad, or things can be good, or they can be in the middle. I don't know when you said that, Arafingal, because it disappeared and I just had to get it back. So when did you say that? Live chat, when it was. Things can be very good or can be very bad, or in the middle. No. Look, a squirrel. Ha ha! Funny! You were talking about squirrels ages before, and I just caught up with that. Squirrels! All comes around. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. Everything ends up the same way, from the beginning, from the end. Ouroboros. Ouroboros. It is a snake eating itself. Hey! It's not a squirrel eating a snake. It's not a snake eating a squirrel. I've never seen an adder, you know. But apparently there were slow worms down the back, according to my dad. But I haven't seen them. I have seen a slow worm though, but I've never seen an adder. Apparently adders are very rare, and only 10 people in the last 50 years have died from being bitten by an adder. But that's still 10 people more than I would like to see being bitten by an adder and not surviving. To be honest, that's still high to me. High! Considering how few adders there are, that feels like quite a lot of people. If only one person have been bitten by an adder, then that's not so great, is it? Probably not that high. But if like 1 in a million people sees an adder and it bites 1 in 2 million, and 1 in 3 million people dies from that can't be high, because if 1 in 3 million people died of being bitten by an adder, then that would be a lot of people. That can't be right. Anyway, maths was never my strong point, really. Not really. But maybe I'll learn maths. I had a book somewhere about how to learn maths, and it had a turtle on the cover, and I thought, I will learn maths now. I'll be good at maths, because I've never really been good at maths. Actually, I'm not bad at maths, but I'm not perfect at maths. I'm not good enough to pass exams at maths. But I am good enough to... I think my standard of maths is higher than my ability to pass an exam in maths. Like, I could get along with maths. I'm not bad at maths. I'm just not. I'm just like, you're tricking me. When I see an exam paper with maths, I'm like, that can't be right. Now, because that was my downfall with the maths exams, is I would be good at maths, but then if you would have a word math problem, you'd mix maths and words, and it would say, if a train is coming out, nope, can't read that, that's stupid, go away. That's not maths, that's English literature. Leave me alone. English literature is I can do English literature, but don't expect me to do maths at the same time. It's a different thing. Yeah, different thing. Anyway, the thing sounds like I'm doing bitten by some tractor. Ha ha ha. Ouroboros, exactly. It's Ouroboros was definitely Red Wolf. I'm glad you caught that. Ouroboros, the snake eating itself. The eternity. It's not that eternity. Eternity. Is it a circle? Is is it a never-ending figure of 8? It's a series of unfortunate events. Yes. Yes, one of the kids that I was looking after when I was working with when I was working in the schools was obsessed. Even though he was like 7, he'd watched all of a series of unfortunate events, and he was like, "Have you seen it?" I was like, "Oh, I have." He was like, "Have you seen it recently?" And he would talk about it all the time. He would talk about that and Minecraft, and I would be like, "I have, but I can't remember it." And he would be like, "Well, please watch it." And I'd be like, "Yeah, well, I didn't watch it again. I'd already seen it." I was like, "Oh yeah, that episode." I was like, "It's not really suitable for a 7-year-old, is it?" I'm not going to watch it again and be drawn into this conversation. But he would be talking. He would be like, "What's this?" You know, he would be talking, and then we'd have to play Minecraft for hours. And he was a great kid, but he definitely had issues. But he was a great kid that liked that. Anyway, I'm not going to say his name because I can't remember his name. Anyway, you can't share that personal information. He was a child that I've just made up. He didn't exist. Yeah, there. I've not shared any information about anybody. Whoops. Have I got into a terrible pickle? Is that personal information that a child liked Minecraft? I think most of the children I've met in the last 10, 15 years like Minecraft, that's just a child thing. All children like Minecraft. That's a bit of an exaggeration. Do you like mining? They go, I like mining. I like the bedrock. I like all the different sorts. And he would actually have a table. He had all the different sorts of rock that you could mine in Minecraft. It's like, I don't really know what Minecraft is for, except jump, because we also had like a cut down version of Minecraft. You could play computer games in the, if you were in computer club, you could go into the computer room and play a cut down version of Minecraft that didn't really have very much, except you sort of wander around and you could dig a little bit, but it wasn't the full Minecraft. It wasn't really the whole experience. So I'm not really sure. It's like you used to be able to buy Sims on PC, and that was a whole thing. But if you bought Sims on PlayStation, it was a little game that didn't have the whole thing on it. So it would be very much cut down. I did have the Sims on the Sims on PlayStation. That's SingStar. That's not the Sims. The Sims on PlayStation is not the same. I've got one here. Pack your bags. Sims, yeah. See, Sims busting out. This is backwards. But Sims busting out, you see, is not a full fat version of the Sims. Like the Sims, even the Sims, like the Sims, you'd get the base game, and then you'd have to add stuff onto it. And if you didn't have certain things, then that wasn't so great. But Sims busting out is very specific. Explore 60 new locations. Pack your bags. Travel to meet unique people. Unlock hundreds of it's like, yeah, that's great. That's all you can do. You can't like explore the world. Now that's how the Minecraft was, really. Lovely. Do you play Minecraft? I just started watching Adventure Time again, and I have seen Adventure Time, and I can't remember whether I've seen it because it's like, how have I seen Adventure Time? Have I seen it on my own, or was I watching it with little kids? Because the thing is, especially during lockdown, it was a lot of the kids were doing school from home, so it would be online. But I was in the actual school with the some of the kids had dispensation. If they had key worker parents or they had a SEND diagnosis, then they would be in the school. So I was in the school. So we would do the online. So would there be online lessons in the morning and in the afternoon, but for vast amounts of time in between. We would do a few things, but it was like, well, what do we do now? So what ended up happening is they would watch television, really, because they'd done the lessons. They'd done the same lessons as the kids at home, and the kids at home were watching television and eating their lunch and doing all sorts of stuff. So it was like the kids in the school were like, well, we know that our friends are just going to be watching the television. Can we watch stuff? And it was like, well, we've covered everything that we needed. We've done all the school. we've done all the lessons, we've done all the projects. There's nothing else to do. So I was watching a lot of things. So I saw a lot of Adventure Time. I think maybe we might have watched a lot of Disney stuff, and also what's that thing? I can't remember what it was, but there was one kid that really liked Falls. What's it called? Falls. I can't remember what it's called. It's on the Disney Channel. It's oh no, I've forgotten everything. Everything's forgotten. I've forgotten everything. Anyway, that thing. It had twins, and they went to visit their uncle, and balls. Yeah, you know what it is. Anyway, that thing. But I can't remember why I watched Adventure Time. With stimulation strategy games, quantity. Yeah, exactly. Limited for PlayStation. PlayStation used to have not enough room to do anything. But that's weird though, really, because something like Final Fantasy VII. I mean, it was you could still feel like you were exploring with the Final Fantasy games on the PlayStation, whereas The Sims, it's like, I mean, there's not a set story with The Sims, so you could, but it's yeah, it did still feel like, even though you could have infinite number of different things happening, really, but not on the PlayStation one. Like on the one on the PC, you could just create all these. You couldn't create as many things really. It was more like, this is what you're doing. Here is your generic sim. Do something with it. This is what you can do with it. It's like whatever. And yeah. I can't remember what that thing was called now. Falls. Tell me what it was called. It was no. I can't remember. It was Kirsten, not Wig, the other one. We're doing one of the voices. Oh no. Gravity Falls. Yay, Gravity Falls. Does it though? Yes, it does. Falls. Gravity Falls. Or does gravity make it fall? Anyway, Gravity Falls. And yes, that was the thing. Like when I showed somebody my rock when I was doing Rock of the Week. One of my rocks has got yeah, it's got one of the, yes, it's got that. It's yes, Cypher. Is Cypher a character from that? Cypher is a character in a lot of different things. Cypher is a character in Gen V and possibly Gravity Falls. Am I wrong? I think I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I've forgotten everything. It's been 5 years since that whole incident, that situation. Anyway, I don't know why I've seen Adventure Time, but I have. In the same way that I have actually seen a lot of Teen Titans. I'm like, how have I seen Teen Titans? I know that I have. Why was I watching Teen Titans? But I was! And I was watching Adventure Time, but I haven't seen it for a while. But I started watching an episode the other day. I didn't finish watching it. I was very bored. And then I thought, oh, what should I watch? And then I forgot again. I didn't finish watching it. I should finish watching that one. Yes, anyway. Gravity Falls, Gravity Falls, Gravity Falls. Bill Cipher. That's his name. Bill Cipher. Anyway. That is me, Dan. What absolute nonsense. But by the way, I still do have that PlayStation. Look at this PlayStation. I've had this for years. This PlayStation, this belonged to somebody that went to America and left it behind. Went to America because they were born in America, even though they never lived in America. And then they left the country. And when they came back to Britain, it got stamped. Their mum was Welsh. My mum is Welsh. Their mum was Welsh. Anyway, they went to America and couldn't come back again. So this got left, and yeah. So I've had that ever since, and it still works. Hooray! I started playing Final Fantasy X on it again a while ago. 2 years ago, it turns out, nearly 2 years ago, not not this May, but last May, I went somewhere and then I came back. I think I went to Leeds and I was like, did I go to Leeds last? No, that wasn't the last year. Birmingham. I've completely lost track of where I've been. I went to Birmingham and then I came back afterwards. I was like, I'll carry on playing it. And I never did. I've not finished it. I suddenly thought today, I didn't finish playing that. And I'd already played it. But, you know, PS1, nicely built. They are built very well. And also, I don't really have a DVD player anymore. But I can play DVDs on that. Hooray! Back in the day, when Netflix sent things through the post, we used to get things sent through the post on Netflix, and we used to send them back. And one time, not me, but the guy whose this was, he was later went on, you know him, he went on to win Jeopardy in America. Not the whole ever, not like ever, but he did win. I think other people win after that. Anyway, he won Jeopardy in America. I think is he back in Britain? Please don't take my PlayStation. It's mine now. It's mine. I've had it. Look, covered in dust. So yeah, that is good. I can't remember what I was saying. Something. Could have been anything. Yeah, very, very solid. Oh yeah, Netflix. Oh yes, what I was saying. He had ordered a particular game. I can't remember what it was. Let's call it Tomb Raider. It wasn't Tomb Raider. Yeah, he ordered Tomb Raider, say, and it came, but it wasn't the real Tomb Raider. It was like somebody had copied the discs onto just like recordable DVDs and sent it. And then it came to send it back, and it was like we had to send them and let them know, hello, you didn't actually send us the real discs. It was the recorded DVDs. It worked, but it was a pirated version. We are not sending you the pirated version. That is what came to us. So that is the perils of old-fashioned Netflix, though. So it's probably just as well that you don't have to do that anymore. Anyway, I've gone on longer than I thought I was going to. Oh, look, there's a free fringe badge from 2024. That's not that long ago. And a beanie thing. Look at this. Look at that. It's like, wow, it's magic. Whoa, it's a jumping bean. Whoa. Where's it gone? I don't have ADHD. What is it? It's got... it's a SpongeBob SquarePants one. Wow, SpongeBob SquarePants, which I've also seen. He lived in the pineapple under the sea. How have I seen these things? It's like I can't physically remember going out of my way to see these things, but I have. Anyway, maybe I was doing it at the same time as doing 5 or 6 different things at the same time, and that's the only reason I've seen any of these things, because I was doing other things at the same time. I can't do one thing at the same time. What do you... No, of course not. I have to do all of the things. All of the things. So maybe that's good for next month. If I do write a novel, I'll do the novel. I'll do something else at the same time. Yeah. Anyway, I will see you next week. Bye. Is it Halloween? Not quite yet. Yeah, but it will be. It will be a different, it will be even darker because of the clocks. The clocks have changed. Yay. Well, no, we'll see you in a fortnight. Okay, then. See ya. Have a good week. Yes, I hope it is dryer. Have a good week and hairdryer. Yes, I've got a very good hairdryer. Yes, I hope it is dryer as well. All right, then. See you then. Bye.